into it. Welcome back. It's been a minute. Hilarious Society. We're back in this fucking building with the boy Jay Fish, also known as Ice JJ Fish. You might have heard the song. There's something about your girl.
It's me. Yep. Yeah, those things are behind me now. Try to move on to
He's a change man. Anyway, thanks, brother. Welcome back to the show. Jack's been on here a couple times before, but today is going to be more of like a laid-back episode where we're kind of just spewing ideas about success and just kind of like growing up as a young man and like seeing our lives change a little bit. Going from $0 in my bank account to $2 in my bank account's been a
big change.
Quiet transition.
200% increase in bank account.
Quick math. Anyway, but let's just get into it. Obviously, we've been doing solar for about a year now, both of us. Not just solar, but I feel like both of our mindsets have changed quite a bit. So, kind of going off the beginning, one thing that I've kind of noticed is sometimes, at least for me, like your thoughts are the loudest at the quietest of moments. And kind of how I have looked at that, at least from my own life, and I want to hear what you have to say as well, is like when I'm just driving or when I try to spend like 5 to 10 minutes in silence a day, I notice that like, your thoughts will just come to you, right? But when we live in such a noisy world where, at least for me, dude, I get up, podcast, in the shower, music, get in my car, music, go to a meeting, talking, go to a home, closing, go to the gym, music, playing video games, watching TV. It's just constantly noise, and I feel like the world's gotten so noisy.
You think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing.
Overstimulation?
I think it's too much stimulation. I think that, and I'm curious what you think about it, but I think that in today's world, like it's just too noisy. Like David Goggins talks about, world's getting noisier every day. And I think just giving yourself 10 minutes of silence is fucking huge. It doesn't even have to be meditation. Just whether you're driving or you're just laying in bed when you wake up or maybe reading, it allows your brain to just kind of think. And your conscious is kind of talking to you, not to get too low.
No, I agree with you. I think it goes both ways though. I think if you're in a bad spot and you're being silent and you're just your self-talk isn't good,
it's gonna be shitty.
It's the worst thing possible, right?
That's a good point.
I think that's a reason why a lot of people. I'm not saying that's. I'm like a lot of people. I think you got to be conscious of that, and I think if you're not in the right place, what you're doing is just secluding yourself from everyone by being silent and being surrounded by that stuff. So in some aspects, I think it's good, but at the same time, or bad, depending on how you look at it. No, I think it's got its positive stuff too. Because you're constantly able to learn, educate yourself about what's going on, and get into topics that you actually enjoy, and you can immerse yourself in that. And so even when you're doing chores around the house where you could just be sitting there doing nothing, I know you like to do the dishes, so when you're doing the dishes, you're just mindlessly doing the dishes, you can put on a podcast, learn something, and be productive at the same time. So it's pretty cool. It's just it's also with overstimulation though, it'll eat away at your time.
100%. I agree.
I mean, we all know what it's like to be on that endless scroll where you sit on your phone for an hour just watching 10-second videos. I don't think that's any good.
Obviously not.
I don't think anyone's gonna say
that. You get into the rabbit hole.
So.
No, that's a good point though, dude. Actually, and anyone that's listening, sorry, I'm laughing. Just this foot Jack's like me. He's the ultimate jokester. He's not even being funny right now, but it's hard to take this guy serious because just a little bit on like our friendship. When I first met this dude, first of all, this guy was the most quiet fucker ever. He wouldn't say two words.
Day one, I was quiet.
Yeah, he's
day
quiet.
I didn't know what I was getting into. My last job, I was like the loud fucking. The jokester.
Goofball our table.
RTP. I was the jokester, and then get over to the great poorhouse. And I was kind of quiet. I'm like, bro, I don't know if all these guys are just scares or what. And then Nick's like me times 10, dude.
Fucking around, dude. But dude, Jack, I always fuck around with Jack at work. We used to do stupid shit like not to go off from this topic, but like he'd be at a table and like middle of a serving someone. I'd like put my hand on him. I'm like, dude, great job. You're really killing it today. Like, embarrassed.
The best was when we were introducing ourselves by random names. Like, hey there, I'm Table.
I'm Furniture. Nice to meet you.
I'm Furniture. Nice to meet you. I'm TI-84 Color Edition.
Oh, dude, nothing beat when we did it to Jace. When one time our buddy Jace was serving the table, and it was like 8 dudes, all our age too. And I went up to him and I put my shoulder on him. I'm like, hey, when you get a minute, Daddy needs you. And Jace, instead of like not acknowledging, he's just like, okay. All the guys looked up from what they were doing and just staring at me.
That was hilarious. Dude, I was crying.
Dude,
That was like happening like right next to me, so I watched it all go down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick does a great job just going up to him
Closing.
straight faced, and I was like, hey, whenever you get a minute, just let you know Daddy needs you.
Dude, it's so funny.
Jace is like in the middle taking orders, and he's like, okay.
Yeah.
And all the guys are like,
What? Who's Daddy?
is
Yeah,
that?
what the fuck?
Uh,
It's a little sus.
yeah, the best table it could have happened.
Dude,
to.
honestly. But honestly, kind of somehow ties back into it. Just like our mindsets when we first were there, you know, like fucking around, making a couple $100, chasing chicks, like getting hammered all the time, and like coming into like solar with sales. Like, don't get me wrong, we still have a ton of fun, but like, you know, dealing with lenders and financing and like real estate market in a way, like I feel like it helps us really grow up. But the other thing I think it does is it really like it's who you surround yourself with. But I do want to get back into what you were talking about before, Jack, is I think you made a good point about as far as like going down the rabbit hole. And I'm no different. I don't know if you've seen the I think it's called the Social Dilemma on Netflix, or like basically explaining about how like social media is like destroying like the youth.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's designed to be addictive.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'll be the first thing, man. I'm
Yeah.
on,
Yeah,
Instagram,
facts, yeah,
Instagram,
100%.
Pornhub, all of it. No,
You
but-
porn, mofos.
Yeah,
fake
X
taxi.
videos, yeah, I'm on all of it.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, getting on to those social medias, and it's like I set myself up with those app time
Dude, that's
limits.
pretty smart, actually. Yeah.
Dude, I always bypass it. It's as simple as a
Code?
a
Yeah.
single code,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, yeah, approve for all day.
Yeah.
And then, so, I mean, there's been very few days where I actually
Let it-
stuck up
let it
with
guide
that
you,
time
yeah.
limit.
It's
But
hard.
it's something to consciously be aware of. Like, if it's by 12 o'clock and you've already hit your limit,
Yeah.
you know, it's like,
You mean
man,
you
what-
like
yeah, 12
yeah,
yeah.
like you're already
midday and you've already hit your limit for social media, it's like, man, how much time am I spending on it? And then
Yeah.
I think the phones do a great job, at least with iPhones. I don't know about Android fools.
yeah.
But,
So sorry.
yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
If you have an Android, don't watch this.
Yeah, so get out of here.
Yeah, you know this is gonna be on Apple Podcasts, not
Yeah.
on Spotify.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
Thanks.
With iPhone, where it tells you, at the end of the week how much time you spent on it. And
Oh,
sometimes it's
dude.
disgusting.
Yes, bro.
I'm like,
exposes. It
It's
exposes you.
fucked up, man. Because even that, I know it's not the true number.
Yeah.
Like if I'm playing a YouTube video in the background,
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing all day.
Yeah.
Like I'm always playing a YouTube
Podcast
video
or some
Spotify
shit.
or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, man, I'm spending too much time on there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it is harmful, but at the same time, you're surrounded by like a wealth of information and knowledge, and it's,
Yeah.
you can either take it that route and hear the good stuff and find out a lot of good information, or you can sit there on Barstool Sports
Yeah.
looking through memes all day. And it's
Facts, yeah. That's a good point.
It's not good.
That's kind of what I was getting to, is like with the social limit, they talk about how literally because of the amount of, I guess, mass marketing and media and just like how intertwined it's become in our culture with social media, they say that like dopamine is released every time you get like a like, even if it's something small, like a like or a follow or a DM. I know it happens for me when I'm checking, like I don't know, we talked about this off camera the other day. We'll literally go on Instagram or Snapchat and then go back to the other one.
Yeah.
2 seconds later, like, bro,
Yes.
nothing has changed, but you,
It's like what
We're
we were
hoping.
talking about when you open up the refrigerator when you're
hungry.
younger and you're hungry and
Yeah.
you're like, hey, I'm gonna open up the fridge, see
Nothing's
what's in
in
it.
there, yeah.
Nothing. 5 minutes later, you're still hungry and you open up the fridge, thinking maybe something's changed, right? And then you're like, oh shit, I'll have those pickles in the back. or
Yeah, I
something.
know that mayo
Yeah,
from
and it's
2008.
like, yeah,
It's
it's
pretty
like,
good.
oh fuck yeah, dude, I'm gonna just have ketchup and crackers. Like, that sounds great,
Smart.
right? Yeah,
But
no,
it's
I
the same idea.
yeah, you do the same thing where you just go back and forth between a few apps, and
Right.
it's like I don't know if people really possess the skill really anymore
Mm.
to consciously not do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. You're talking about spending 10 minutes a day. It seems
Yeah.
like nothing, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult.
Dude, it's fucking super hard in
I
today's
know.
world.
See, even like in between sets at the gym, for example,
Mhm.
like, dude, you're just sitting there for like a minute. It's like, fuck, dude, I want to look at my phone. Like, it's weird. Like, I'm just like, sitting
Change
there.
song,
Do something.
change podcast,
See
look
if I
at
got
the
a
time,
notification.
check an email.
It's
Yeah,
stupid.
100%,
Yeah.
dude. And yeah, so that's kind of what they talked about. But yeah, kind of getting on that is like, yeah, like I think today's society is just so noisy, and I'm like the first to admit it. Everyone that knows this podcast knows that like I'm always, everything you guys hear is coming from my perspective. So if you have a different perspective, that's awesome. But I know I'm calling out my own faults. And it's tough sometimes, dude. And like, you know, just how addictive it is on all these quick fix things. And Joe Rogan talks really good about this. And he says, like, if you don't, which I want to transition to next, like, if you don't start your day with suffering, like, suffering will find you regardless, right? Like, everyone knows fucking people are going to die in your life. You're going to get laid off. Economy's going to crash. You're going to get sick. You know, it's inevitable, right? You're going to have suffering in life. So if you can harden your mind so that you're more prepared by like choice, suffering by choice versus suffering by I guess just what's the word I'm looking for?
I know, and it's weird because you know, you don't want people to suffer, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants anyone to suffer.
100%.
However, suffering is what makes you do better.
Yeah.
I think Joe Rogan. Yeah. Speaking of Joe Rogan, he was talking about it. Like people who are depressed and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing, but suffering, for some reason, makes you feel better. When you go to the gym in the morning and you put in a hell of a workout and you started your day like that, you're gonna feel better the rest of the day.
100%.
It doesn't matter what you do for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird that it's just like suffering. Putting yourself in physical pain in a way helps you out mentally, which is a cool thing.
Well, the thing is too, is it's when it's suffering by choice, like when it's controlled suffering. Yeah. Obviously, a family member dies, that's horrible. A family member dies, that's so horrible, it's traumatic. You're not prepared for that. You shouldn't ever have to be like, oh, someone's going to die one day. I'm ready for it. You know, life just throws curveballs at you. But what he's trying to get at, the essence of it is ultimately like, for me, like how I start my morning routine is the same every day. Now, I'm human, right? There's days where I'll slack. Like if I wake up hungover, I'm planning on doing this, but on a normal day, like I did today, I wake up, I try to wake up at the same time every day. First thing I do when I wake up is I go in, brush my teeth, but I turn on the water extreme cold. And so I brush my teeth first. It kind of lets me like get ready to get in the cold shower.
You like to do cold water on your toothbrush? You ever done hot water?
No. No. Well, listen.
All right.
So cold shower in the background, cold water in the shower, but I'm brushing my teeth. And so I brush my teeth and like allows me to like kind of like prepare myself mentally, and then I just jump in the shower. And guess what? The first 5 seconds every day, just without failure, fucking sucks. You know, I'm fucking like, God damn it. Instantly adrenaline start kicking in. I'm fucking cold. And then after about a minute or two, your body acclimates, just like your body can acclimate to suffering or any sort of, you know, long-term endurance or even short-term acute suffering. And then I get out and instantly I feel good because I know it's stupid, but like when you're cold, your muscles tighten. So I get out and I look a little pretty good this morning. And then as soon as I'm out of there, I dry off, I do 100 push-ups and then do 100 sit-ups. And then I make my bed. So before I fucking step out of my room, I've already got a mini workout in. I've already done something that sucks, and my room is clean. And it gives me like a sense of fulfillment. And then I'll go start my day with whatever I have
I was
to
going
do.
to say, I mean, what you're talking about is a couple things that, you know, many famous people are hound on nonstop. Andrew Huberman with the cold showers, right?
Yeah.
He'll talk about that, starting your day off. Another thing he likes to, you know, express to people is going out in the sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're not leaving your house or opening up the windows or stepping outside until 2 o'clock, it's going to mess you up.
Yeah.
You need to be out in the sunlight as early as possible. And then making your bed, the Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Classic.
Dude,
Classic.
so good though.
Getting one thing done for the day already propels you forward.
Yeah.
It's as simple as, tying your shoes.
Same thing. Jocko Willink kind of talks about it too. It's like at the very least, you have a or not Jocko Willink, it's the Hookham, Texas, I don't know if you've seen that Navy SEAL speech. His name's Tom Shea, I think. Could be getting it wrong, but he has the Make Your Bed book.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a great commencement speech you guys should check out. But I forgot his name, but he's a famous Navy SEAL. And he always talks about you should start your every day making your bed. And what he means by that is, by itself, like, making your bed is pointless, damn near. But it gives you a small sense of confidence, and you can start stacking your wins. If you listen to anyone that's successful, and by the way, guys, it doesn't have to mean, for people listening, you don't have to work out in the morning or take a cold shower, but you need to do something every day that you don't like to do. It could be getting up at 5 a.m. and reading 5 pages. It could be getting up at 6 and going for a walk. You know, it could be fasting, whatever it is. But if you can build a consistent ritual, what it does is like discipline equals freedom, right? And what I've learned in my life is when I feel the most confident and comfortable in any sort of environment is because for the last, let's say, week or 2 weeks or month, I've been doing the same shit every day. And so when other aspects of life come in, like maybe I'm in a clothes where it's like way unexpected, or maybe it's a physical altercation, some sort of environment where it's a little bit more unknown, I'm way more confident and comfortable because my mind has already been hardened from doing the same shit every single fucking day. So, yeah, I mean, I think that to a degree, discipline is freedom. Now, like I said, I'm not a fucking monk. I always say that. I mean, obviously I make mistakes. I don't do the same thing every day. But for the majority, I understand I feel so much more in control when I do
it's
that.
the truth. I mean, when I'm having the best weeks in terms of like, you know, mental growth and stuff like that, it all comes from consistency.
Yeah.
The weeks where I do bad, where I you know, don't show up to a morning
Jack loves
meeting.
those 9 a.m.s, yeah.
Yeah, and it's all because of I threw myself out of whack, which is like going out or something like that.
Yeah.
I enjoy having fun, but it messes with my consistency, which then throws off everything else.
Yep.
It's a domino effect.
Right.
Once you kind of pull out one thing and you don't follow through with it, or you do something that's kind of out of the ordinary,
Right.
oftentimes I think it has a domino effect that you don't really realize.
Yep.
And I think to avoid that, it comes down to was that short-term gain versus
Oh, you mean like short-term pleasure for long-term displeasure or discomfort versus short-term discomfort for long-term like success? Pleasure?
delayed gratification,
Exactly.
that kind of idea,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
And it's when you go for that, instant gratification or you know, short-term pleasure.
Right.
What you don't realize is how it's affecting you in the long run.
Right.
Because there's always consequences to everything, and like, you know, going out drinking and stuff, super fun in the moment, yeah. And then afterwards, ruins
Feel
your
like
next day.
shit, yeah.
Ruins your next day, and then because that day was effed up, you know, you threw off your whole sleep schedule.
Yep.
Next thing you know, you're waking up later, and it, it happens to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Facts.
It's hard.
It domino effects for sure. Like we'll take going out for example. I go out, right? I spend. Like the good thing with this job we'll get to financially, like money is not a problem, which is awesome, right? And we're only growing with our finances, which is great. But the bottom line is I spend more money than I should. I get lack of sleep. I'm extremely hungover the next day. I sleep in, so my sleep schedule's fucked. Finances have been taking a little hit. My diet's fucked because I've been eating like a ton of shit. And then when I wake up, because I still feel shitty, guess what I do? DoorDash pizza, DoorDash ice cream, so I feel shitty,
every
right?
single time.
And then guess what I most likely do? Honestly, I'd say 9.5 times out of 10. I don't go to the gym that night. I don't do anything productive. I probably play video games or sit in my room all day. And then I go to bed that night, half prepared for the next day. So you're right. And it takes like, usually, if I go out really hard, and this is just one night. God forbid I go back-to-back nights, which I've done before. Is it will take like 2 to 3 days to be fully back to normal. So like where I'm at.
Yeah, to
And
be back
the
on
momentum,
the same schedule.
because the momentum it stops momentum.
Yeah, it's you know, the idea of you know, pushing a rock up a hill,
Yeah.
or pushing a rock or something like that,
Yeah.
or you know, riding a bike.
Yeah.
Once you stop pedaling, it's going to be a lot harder to start up the bike again.
Right.
Versus if you just keep pedaling every single day.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's huge, man.
Yeah.
It's just keeping that momentum going.
100%. I think another thing too, kind of on this, is like every rep you do towards something that sucks is usually another rep towards confidence. And at least what I've seen in my experience with life, whether it's, you know, with solar or girls or working out or reading, anything that I'm doing, and maybe sometimes it's displeasurable or discomforting. Every rep that sucks, I end up feeling better and like more in control after. You know, like for example, let's just say the gym. Like I get up, I don't want to go for a fucking run. Like yesterday, I went for like a 4-mile run and then I went to the gym after. I did not want to do either of those things. But after I did both of them, at the night when I fucking lay my head on my pillow,
You feel so much better.
I'm like, dude, I got after it today. And nobody's forcing you to do it. That's why, like, when I was in school, right, and I was playing football or running track or whatever, like, you know, you have a coach and you have more of a reason. There's a team. You want to be liked by your peers and you want to be, you know, an athlete, which is great. But then when you get out, once I got out of high school, I realized quickly, like, dude, nobody's really telling me what to do.
Well, I was gonna say
You have to be your own fucking
It's
coach.
basically like when you move out too.
Yeah.
Like constantly having your parents nag you to
Yeah.
do the chores, do this, make your bed, clean your room, do the dishes, you know,
not the
vacuum,
dishes.
except for the dishes,
Yeah.
vacuum the house, like that
Yeah.
kind of shit, right? And it was always annoying growing up. But then when you when you don't have that,
Dude.
you don't have somebody telling you what to do,
Yeah.
and like I'll tell you, like living by myself,
Yeah.
dude, things can pile up,
Yeah.
and it's like you really have to like keep on top of that stuff. And when you stop doing it, dude, it compounds.
Dude,
It's exponentially worse.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're gonna avoid it, and it's like picking at a scab or something, right?
Yeah.
Where if you had just like dealt with it, you know, you chose not to pick at the scab, it'd been fine. It would have been done with in a couple days. You keep picking at it, it's gonna last a couple weeks.
Scar and shit.
Yeah,
exactly.
and it's gonna it'll
fucking
scar. It'll make
yeah.
it look worse. It's like
100%. Have you heard of that? That I guess it's like a would you rather, and it's actually I remember hearing about it my freshman year of high school, and I was like put things into perspective. But it's would you rather get $100,000 every day for 30 days for a month, or would you rather take a penny and every day it doubles, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, the fuck a penny gonna do? Like, right? And I
Yeah.
raised 100,000.
I know. Well, that one's like,
No,
if you explain the math to anyone,
no,
they'll
It's-
be like,
but
I'm
not-
gonna do the penny.
not the math on it, but if more just the idea of it, because it's like basically how it works is like after 30 days, the penny's like you're like I think it's a mega millionaire or a billionaire, like you're worth a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, yeah. it's
But the
interesting.
the idea behind it, which like holds deeper weight than the finances itself, is like doing something every day is gonna like you just talked. It's gonna compound. If you do the right thing every day. If I go to the gym 30 days in a row, don't miss a day, and I haven't done that in a while where I didn't miss a day in 30 days. I'm shredded. I know my body. I'll be shredded, right? Already, or, also taking into consideration that I've been eating healthy and getting sleep. If I don't go to the gym for 30 days, I'm fucking out of shape. And that's only 30 days, dude. Like, take
I
a
know.
month of anything.
A month out of the gym is so bad.
That is horrible. I can't remember the last time I did that. That's a long, or like not working out. And so kind of what that brings me back to is just like, yeah, like people don't understand like the little things you do. Like Tony Robbins always says, like where you are in your life is 100% because of your decisions.
Yeah.
The decision to go to the bar, the decision not to go to the bar, the decision to spend money on X, Y, and Z, the decision not to, the decision to take the job or to not take the job, the decision to ask that girl out or to not ask her out. Like all these decisions have gotten you to this point in your life.
Well, and I feel like that also kind of ties into the Jocko Willink
Yeah.
extreme ownership.
Yeah, 100%.
Take ownership for all those decisions you made, because
Right.
it's so easy to be like, oh, I'm stuck in this spot because of so and so, because of that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no, well, you, and let's say it is, your friend who's kind of always, keeping you down or something like that.
Right.
Well, you chose to hang out with him
Mhm.
from the beginning. Like
Yeah.
you chose to hang out with them, you chose to be friends with them.
Right.
They were changing, and you still chose to be around them, and it brought you down. Yeah, that sucks, but like at the end of the day, take ownership of the fact that you chose to be around these people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I feel like that kind of ties into what you were
No,
saying.
dude, that was actually a great thing to transition to because I was going to bring up next. I'm sure everyone's heard it, depending on who you, Dan Pena, freaking, I don't know, a ton of people have
The
talked
five
about it.
people.
Yeah, you are the
Yeah.
5 people you hang around, and I think that it's so true because, like, all right, take you for example. Before you came to Poorhouse, I'm not saying you don't have great friends, but like what you were doing was a little bit different, like drinking, going out more. Me the same way. I love all my friends. I have nothing but like love for all the people in my life. But when I started hanging around Christian and Max, right, and then like you came along, like my brain started shifting.
Well, it's super crystal clear looking at it now.
Yeah, but back then,
Looking at it now, how you acted back then, there'd be days I'd be hitting him up to like go out floating with us,
Oh, yeah.
and he'd be like, nah, dude, like I'm gonna work, and I'm like, man, stop being a fucking lame.
Yeah.
Like I was like
yeah.
annoyed. I
Yeah.
remember being like,
Yeah.
dude, hang out with us for once. Like,
Yeah.
why are you being so lame? Dude?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're so cool. Oh, Mr. Business
Solar
guy.
guy.
Yeah, like, oh, dude, I'm sure you're having a great time working
Yeah.
right now. I'm out on the river having fun, hanging out with
Yeah,
friends,
drunk,
drinking,
a bunch of
getting
chicks.
tan. Yeah, having a good time.
Yeah.
Hanging out with everybody, listening to music.
Yeah.
Doing what you should be doing in the summer, right? However, what I didn't realize is that he was kind of surrounding himself with a different group of people who had a better mindset, had a larger mindset,
Right.
a bigger mindset. And then when I kind of got introduced to that, it flipped the switch on me as well.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I wasn't going out quite as often. All of a sudden, I was doing the exact same thing, saying I can't hang out today.
Yeah.
And it changes. And yeah, and it's exactly that. You are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
I forget, there's like another quote. It's basically the same thing. It's like,
Show
do
me
you-
friends,
show
I'll show
me-
your future.
Yeah, do you want me to, show you your future? Show me your friends.
Yeah.
That's who you're gonna be. And it's the truth, man. I always thought, like, how parents always say, like,
Careful who you hang around.
careful who you hang out with.
Yeah.
If they jump off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? Or
Yeah,
whatever
all
that
that
saying is.
shit. Yeah.
It's stupid, and you look at it, and you're like, oh, dude, I would never do that if they did that.
Yeah.
But what it was like, realistically, was entailing like, oh, if your friends started getting into drugs and smoking all the time,
Yeah.
odds are you're gonna start smoking all
Yeah.
the time. You're gonna do all the bad stuff that they do.
Right.
And it's nothing against your friends, but you just gotta be aware of who you're around.
Yeah.
One of the exercises I did in, gosh, I must have been 18 or 19. I was doing a behavioral psychology class.
Okay.
And that was the first time I had heard that.
Mhm.
Told me, it's like, you're the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So right now, everyone list the top 10 people they're closest to. It could be your dad, it could be your grandpa, it could be your best friend, it could be your cousin, it could be your girlfriend,
Right.
boyfriend, wife, husband, all those. List out all of those people, and then write down if they're positive or negative on your life.
Mhm.
And so I had people who are negative, stop talking to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, oh shit, like wow, it's that easy. If they're a negative impact on my life, why am I gonna keep bringing them along?
Right.
Because they're just bringing you down, and it's not helping you get better in life. So, yeah, I firmly believe in
I think so, yeah.
the 5 people around you influence you.
100%. I think also too what you kind of like touched on is, I think a lot of times when people are like trying to change their life, I think at least for, and I had the same thought process until I kind of started studying other successful people. Is like I always thought change. I gotta add stuff. I gotta start doing this. I gotta join this mastermind group. I gotta start eating this. But
Well, it's
you
so,
kind of just.
it's so attractive.
But exactly, and it seems like that's what
Like,
you used to add
I'm
stuff.
out of shape. I need to do keto.
But the bottom line is, you kind of hit on it. Is like you need to remove things. People
Yes.
think like you need to add shit.
Subtraction is
All,
bigger than
subtraction will
addition,
always
yeah.
will always add to addition in a way, or multiplication, but is like little things. Like this month, one of my things is like no video games. It seems so stupid because I'm a grown ass man, but I like to play.
Big gamer.
Big gamer, no video games, and like no desserts and all that shit, right? And like, don't get me wrong, for people that don't know, like I will play PGA, it's fucking golf, every night when I get home after work, right? I bust my ass. It's like go to the gym, I do homework. I'm being productive on the day, but I want to sit here and fucking play video games. But guess what takes a hit when I'm on here? I'm not reading as much. I'm not watching masterclass videos. I'm not watching sales tactics. And just in these last 7 days, I haven't played it all. And dude, sometimes I really want to play. I've gotten more shit done in the last 7 days just by removing something, not by adding, by removing that. And then same with desserts, like my physical shape, like been doing more workouts, but like removing just desserts, just no cookies, no fucking ice cream. Even when I want it, it's like it feels good. I saw
Yeah, I was
fat
gonna
ass.
say you were getting really fat. You were getting super
Almost
fat.
200.
It was
195.
to that point where it's like, man, do I say something or
No, but for
do
real-
I just let it happen?
but for real,
and I
though.
was like, man, he likes chubby girls, so
Yeah.
like,
Oh, big chubby guy.
maybe put it in.
Deadass. But honestly though, it's just like removing things, like shit becomes more clear too. Like for me in my life, whenever I like remove things, make my priority, let's just say sales, fitness, and school. And if that shit doesn't align with that, like you start to just be able to like clean the bullshit aside. It's like windshield wipers, right?
Well, I mean, I think a big thing with this one too, and I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Removing people, it's always it seems almost cliche. It's like toxic people,
Yeah.
right? Like with relationships, whether it be with friends or girls or something like that.
Yeah.
Removing those people out of your life, although it's hard, makes the world of the difference, or makes
Yeah.
the world difference.
Yeah.
And that's something hard to do with any kind of toxic people.
Right.
I don't know. What are your opinions on removing people?
Dude,
Because it's hard,
I think that's huge.
especially
I mean,
when like your
like,
friends.
sometimes, and here's the thing too, it's almost not, it's like you become your environment, right? And I've always said this, I got homies in all different aspects of life, and I'm not one to judge because I've been there, and maybe for the people that are more successful than me, I'm headed there. But sometimes it's like people take it personal, especially with our other friend group, which they know they are. They're great people. Like they want nothing but the best for us. But sometimes people take it personal. And it's like, dude, success is a lonely road sometimes. Like everyone's gonna take it personal. Nick doesn't kick with me. Jack doesn't like me. It's like I love you guys for who you are. I'm gonna be me. So you can take it or leave it. But I'm not gonna fucking sit back and do the same shit you guys are doing every day. Once again, happiness is like in the eye of the beholder. You can be the happiest fucking person in the world, live in a tent in goddamn Thailand and surf every day, and that's your happiness. Do that shit. Don't chase money. Don't chase fitness. That is totally fine. But for me, when I want in life, I want fucking financial success, physical health, right? I want to make a ton of money. I want to, which is financial success. I want to leave an impact. I want to be well known. I want to be famous. I know what I have to do to get there. And if it doesn't align with that, I'm like, okay, fuck it. I don't have time for this. Now, for someone that, works 5 days a week, 9 to 5, and they make $80,000 a year, and they have a wife and kids, and they get to go to every one of their kids' baseball games, and their wife and their marriage is awesome, and they have a 3-bed, 2-bath, and that's their dream idea. Literally, all the power to you. I think that's phenomenal because success doesn't need to be the same thing for everybody.
And I was gonna say, I think that kind of ties into the idea of the why.
Yeah, exactly.
Why you're doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has a different why in life.
Yeah.
And some
100%.
people's whys in their life is, to become closer to their family.
Yeah.
To be like a family person and, to be the best person in their community, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, whatever that may be. Other people, it's financially motivated or, success, right?
Right.
So there's different whys for everyone. And then I think what a lot of people currently, I don't know, they might not have ever realized what their why is.
Yeah.
And once you kind of realize, you know, what motivates you and what you want to do, you can act on that motivation. You can act on that. You know what you're aiming towards. If you want to be successful, you know, financially speaking, what that's going to take is for you to work harder, get a better job, you know, improve yourself, and you know, all of your sales skills. There's things that can lead to that financial success. If you want to improve your, you know, family relations, and being better in the community, all that sorts of stuff, there's ways of going about that.
Right.
So you can figure it out as long as you know what your why is.
Yep.
I think that's just the biggest part, is figuring out what you want to do and what you're talking about, like however you see success or whatever your goal in life. Once you realize that though, I mean, it really changes how you view opportunities in life and situations you're currently in. Allows you to kind of take almost an out of body look at yourself, and be introspective.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people haven't kind of realized what they actually want to do in life.
100%. I think sometimes the hardest part is going from 0 to 1, right? It's like whatever that is, whether that's getting your first sale or finding out your life goal or talking to that girl or whatever aspect, because once you understand, like, oh, I know how to get from 0 to 1, then you know how to do it again. Get to, you know, 1 to 2, 2 to 4, right? It starts multiplying. And I think a large part of, being successful or being happy, because they kind of go hand in hand. Like, to me, dude, am I fucking happy when I take a cold ass shower or when I go for a fucking 4-mile run or when I don't go out on a Friday night?
But you know it's going to lead
That's
to
what
your
I'm getting to.
success.
Therefore, I feel a sense of like confidence. And I'd much rather be temporarily miserable and be fucking confident when I go to bed at night and genuinely proud of myself than be like, oh, I'm happy I'm eating this fucking ice cream and I'm happy I'm playing video games.
I was
and
going
go
to
to
say,
bed at
deep
night.
down,
Like, shit.
all of those struggles, though, they lead to your happiness.
That's what I'm saying. That's
So,
what I'm
like,
getting to.
even when it's like, oh, it feels like shit, at the back of your mind, it's like, oh, it means I want to get better.
Yeah.
So, in a way, it's like you almost start to feel happy doing the shitty things.
100%.
Because you know it's going to lead to where you want to be in life.
Yeah, but real quick, just to wrap up with the toxic people, sometimes there's actual toxic people, sometimes it's just people that are not the same
toxic
wavelength
for
as you.
Yeah.
And what I would think is it's hard to cut, especially, I mean, I'm sure you've been there too, bro, but like for me, like with chicks, like there's some girls that are fucked with me and I'm like, oh my God, but the sex is so good or yada yada, right? It's like, you know, I'm being honest here, I'm a dude.
It's hard.
And it's hard to walk away.
Yeah.
But you
Oh,
have to
it's so
fucking
hard.
look yourself in the mirror and understand, like, dude, she's not good for you. In this case, for women. Or maybe it's your buddy or whatever, or maybe a girl, guy, whatever. But I can only speak from my perspective and what I've experienced. And it's like, dude, I remember there's a couple girls that drove me crazy.
And the worst part is
addicted to it.
The worst part is you would know it too.
Oh yeah,
You
you're
can be
100%
conscious. You can be
aware.
conscious of the fact that this person ruins you.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't give a fuck. I still want to.
I want
I want to talk to her. Everyone hates her. I still want to be with her.
Yeah, and
You
then
can
you start lying to yourself. You start lying to people
make
around you.
excuses.
The other thing that's crazy too is, you know, there's been a couple girls in my life that have actually like thrown me through the loops a little bit. I'm like, whoa. But when you get out of that little fucking phase and you look at them again, you're like, bro,
Oh,
you're honestly
bro.
not that good.
You're like,
looking.
I am
You're
not
like,
interested.
You're
What was
not
I thinking?
attractive. Like
Yeah,
your personality
You
sucks.
ever look
You're
back
not
at
pretty.
those girls that?
But
Like,
then you're on it. The other thing is, but you're on a different wavelength. Like you're like, dude, I'm in shape. I'm making money. You know, it might like whatever. I'm not. It's not boasting, but you're in a confident spot. Like, dude, I got my shit together now. Why the fuck was I spending all my time on this chick that didn't give a fuck about me?
well, I was gonna say, I've seen it
XYZ.
firsthand. I remember girls, you know, that I would have like done anything for.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's
So
perfect.
hot,
Oh,
dude. And
amazing,
she got it
so
all.
hot.
Yeah.
And then now, you know, talking to them, I'm like, ugh.
That's facts.
I am not. No, you are
Not down.
Not what it. It's like.
Yeah.
It's weird to describe. You know, I don't
Yeah.
want to obviously put anyone down.
No, yeah, we're not name dropping.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like, in a way, it's almost the whole idea of once you kind of realize them for who they are, and you get over that whole like they're perfect, amazing.
Yeah, everyone has flaws.
It's crazy. It's crazy to like look back at it. And then what you were talking about before, when like, let's say you were obsessed with a girl or you really liked a girl, and then a couple of years later you're like looking back and you're like, man, what the fuck was I thinking?
Oh yeah, I've done it so many times.
Dude, I can like go back all the way back to like shit when I was in like elementary school.
Yeah.
Like being obsessed with girls, and then like, you know, that goes away. And then I remember like being in like 7th grade and looking back at myself in 6th grade, like, why did I like that girl?
Yeah,
Right? And it's a constant thing. And then the next thing you know, you start liking a new girl, and you don't realize it.
Yeah.
But a year from now, you're gonna be like, why did
I like her? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to
weird.
find a good one. The other thing is too, and I've talked about this before on the podcast, is like Steve-O of all people had a really good shit on Joe Rogan's podcast. He had a really good like quote, and basically it went along the lines of he was talking to his therapist, and he was like, well, why can't I find the right girl? This is when he was like a big druggie. Now he's clean. For everyone that doesn't know, Steve-O's like super clean. He's off drugs. He's like doing pretty good, I guess, in life, but. He was talking to his therapist. He's like, dude, I don't know why I can't find the right girl. And the therapist is like, well, let me ask you this. If you were a girl, would you be attracted? Like, what kind of girl do you think you're bringing around your life? Like, oh, druggies and hoes and all this. And like, how do you expect to find like Mrs. Right if you're not Mr. Right? And I was like, damn, I thought about all the characteristics and I've still got a lot of shit I got to figure out. And I'm like, how am I supposed to look for Miss Independent, financially successful, super fit if I'm not holding my end of my own agreement, right? Like, you are what you attract. And I know a lot of people think law of attraction is bullshit, but I 100% agree with
It's
it.
the truth. I mean, what's a quality, like non-physical or anything like that, that you find like
Attractive in a woman?
I'll speak for
Go ahead.
myself. I think someone who's motivated
Oh, yeah.
is huge, and it's like crazy.
So hard to find.
It's extremely hard to find.
Just in our generation, like, in general, people
I mean,
our day and age.
Exactly that, and it's like, man, you can't expect to find somebody who's like motivated and wants to do better in their life
Yeah.
if you're not doing that.
Right?
Yeah.
Or I'll see like here's another good example. I'll see like a really, it also levels to it. Like, let's say I'm at a level 6 in here, but I want to grow to 10. I'm like, well, I need to move up. Like, for example, I work out, I'm in good shape, but I'll see like a super hot gym babe. And I'm like, dude, I want her. And I'm like, well, don't get me wrong, never take this to grain of salt. Never compare yourself like, oh, she'll never go after me because of my
Like,
level
I'm
of
not
fitness.
Chris Bumstead.
But yeah, you're like, dude, okay, well, she's super in shape. Like, why don't you get there too, you know? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you need to be physically the same level as everyone. People are like, oh my God, Nick's body shape. No, I'm fucking not. Don't be soft. But what I am saying is confidence is king at the end of the day. Like, I've seen the ugliest dudes pull the prettiest girls and vice versa. You know, some like pretty good looking guys with some like pretty beat chicks. I'm like, bro, like what? So I'm not trying to go down that rabbit hole, but bottom line is what I'm trying to get at is I'll see a woman that's excelling at a very, very high standard at any level, and I'm like, dude, I want that. And I'm like, well, am I even at that level? Yeah. Or I'm trying. That's the big part. If I'm not applying myself to that level, like, okay, well, she probably goes to the gym every day. Nick, you haven't gone to the gym 6 days in a row in the last 3 months. Like, 1 + 1 = 2. You need to show, not even her, don't do it for any particular person, do it for yourself, but just be aware if you're trying to attract certain people in your life. Maybe it's a dude for finances. Like, dude, I want to be around a Christian, a Luca, or a Max. Okay, well, are you showing the right characteristics that would make Christian or Max or Cody want to give you an opportunity? You know what I mean? Like, you have to be very not self-conscious, but honestly, yeah, like, very self-conscious of
self-conscious, or I like to say just introspective.
Yes, my bad. Yeah, not
Yeah,
self-conscious,
yourself.
introspective. Yeah, well put. But I think that goes without saying, is like trying to take that deeper look and seeing how you're playing yourself. Like, am I doing the right things? And there's areas that you're probably killing it in, like in life.
And I was gonna say a great tip for that, in all honesty, is something I've kind of taken up, is like any kind of journaling. Like, write down your thoughts. Go through, if you're like running through like a situation in your head, like, man, how should I handle that? Blah, blah, blah. Write it down. It makes it so much easier so that you can see from both perspectives.
Right.
That's one thing I'll try to always do, is like be able to like look from both sides.
Right.
You know, especially with like political stuff. Right?
Yeah, 100%. We talked about that the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, where I'm like, I consider myself, I'm conservative side of things.
Right
wing.
Yeah.
But then, I also have to be able to like consciously look at people on the right, like, what are they doing wrong? Like, dude, why are you getting outraged by this? Like, this is, come on. Like, it's stupid, right? And so it's like, you have to be able to walk both roads.
Yeah.
It's that idea of, you can never know what someone's going through if you've never walked a day in their shoes or something. And it's that idea too. It's like, you have to be able to put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
To kind of figure out a situation, and by writing it down, I think it really does a good job.
That's huge.
Get through issues.
It takes a lot of self-control, and also, self-awareness. That's one of the hardest things, because you're right, dude. Like, being on the right side politically, but also understanding there's flaws on the right. Yeah. Just like someone on the left. Because bottom line is, I don't care who you vote for or what you believe in. Each person has their own right and they're entitled to it. But like, you cannot be like, my side is always right. It's like, it's not even politics. It could be anything. It could be your favorite team. It could be food. It could be culture. Whatever the fuck it is. You have to be very aware that it's like, there's two sides to every story. And what a real leader does, or someone that is very like I guess, in control. Emotional intelligence, book I'm about to start reading, by the way, is being able to understand the other side. Even if you don't agree, you have to at least understand, because for one, it de-escalates the situation, and two, you can have a rational conversation.
Yeah.
Like, think about how many times, and I'm speaking for myself, that I've got an argument with a guy or a girl, and I thought it was so right. A lot of times too, alcohol is never your best friend. I was drinking. Sometimes, obviously, too, when I'm sober, I'm not always just arguing when I'm drunk. But I look back in that situation, I'm like, bro, fucking A, like, they actually had some good points, but I was so fucking stubborn that I thought I was right. My pride was too high. My ego was way too high that I couldn't let my guard down and understand where they're coming from.
What I think a lot of what people do, and maybe this would apply to that situation, is you kind of build a narrative for everyone around you, right? And you make sure that they fit that narrative. You're gonna ignore everything else. It's like, go back to like a political issue, right? Yeah. You only view the left as one kind of person. Like, they fit the narrative.
Stereotyping.
They do it. Yeah, it's stereotyping. Or if you're like kind of like one of those, like guys who like hate women and stuff.
Yeah, a manist or whatever you call it.
Incel.
Anti-feminist.
Manist, whatever it is.
It's called.
You just build a narrative of every single girl, and then you all of a sudden you apply it to every single girl, and it's like, dude, you can't do that. Yeah. You can't just create a narrative for everyone without even talking to them.
For sure.
And it's a hard thing to like overcome too, because it's so easy. Everyone has that like bias, like affirmation bias.
Yeah, I know you're talking about that.
Where they only look at the things that go along with their personal
beliefs.
It's hard.
And you go through the world ignorant, bro. Like the world, like the way I look at life is life's meant to be experienced, right? Like highs and lows. Talk to as many people as you can, get as many different ideas and perspectives, and whatever you believe, all the power to you. But the more people I talk to, whether they're 100% right, wrong, in between, I learn something. You can learn just as much from a fucking idiot as you can from a genius.
Well, yeah, being willing to learn from everyone. It's the idea of you can learn the same amount of information from a homeless person on the street as you could from a billionaire. Right?
100%.
You can learn what not to do from a homeless person and what to do from a billionaire.
Right.
However, some people close their minds so much so to the homeless person that they won't even give it a chance. I'm not saying go around and talk to homeless people and learn not to do crack. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But no, you should be like willing to actually listen to both sides,
right?
And understand that there's knowledge to be gained in every single situation.
Yeah.
Even if someone I know is like a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I hate that person.
Yeah.
I'm still learning from them.
Yeah.
Still learning. I'm like, I'm never gonna do that. Yeah. I'm never.
And if you do, you check yourself. Like, oh fuck, I'm acting like that piece of shit.
Exactly.
I don't want to be like that. And yeah, you remove. Like I said, it's easier to remove than it is to add. Another thing, dude, I want to talk about. This is going good though, bro. Thanks again for popping on. We're like spewing ideas. I said this to you a couple months ago, but I think it's good to bring it back up. But I was having, just like you talked about with thoughts, you journal. What I like to do, just before getting into this, is I record myself, and it's only for me. No one ever sees it. Anytime I have any good, bad, indifferent thoughts, and I put it in a folder. I have like 2021. It's called reflection videos. 2021, 2022, and now 2023. Probably once a week. They're not like timed, but whenever I feel an idea or thought, I just fucking grab my phone, and usually when I'm in the car, I talk to myself. And those are really good for me because I'll go back and listen in my mind, like, where was I at? And so I think it's good to do that journaling. But getting on with it, confidence, this is something I put down. Confidence, I think, is directly linked to clarity. The more clear and certain you are about who you are and where you're going, the more confident you become, because your future becomes more controllable and therefore more predictable. Kind of like we talked about a little bit earlier, but I do want to retouch on this and kind of get your perspective on it as well. But I think at the end of the day, when I'm at my most peak level of, let's say, fitness and confidence and sales ability and intelligence, is when I'm so, my clarity in my life is like damn near certain, right? I'm never going to be 100%, but when I know, like, okay, I've been going to the gym every day, I feel better. I've been going to sleep at the same time, my mental health is better. I've been saying this in the close instead of this, I know how to close a deal. I've been doing this to make sure that he gets the install, great. I know how to, I've been saying this to relieve a homeowner's stress or uncertainty, this works. I've been saying this to a girl that I think's attractive and cool to go on the date with her, and this works. And I just feel like the more clear you are about life, I always think of it like windshield wipers, like it's fucking pouring rain, there's shit on your window. The more clear you are, the more it's like, oh fuck, now I see the bigger picture. But
yeah, what you're talking about with clarity.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not clear about what you want to do, where you want to go, what kind of motivates you, what drives you, you're gonna have a hard time being confident.
Right.
You know, and like you're saying, they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
The more confident you are, the more, you know, clear-minded you'll be,
Right.
the more clarity you possess,
Yeah.
and then vice versa. You know, the more clarity you have, the more confident you'll be. Out of curiosity, though, what do you think are some of the things that lead to more clarity? And let me kind of answer it
Yeah,
from
go
my
ahead.
perspective first. I think, you know, it's weird, it's all C words, but clarity
Yeah.
comes from, you know, confidence, and confidence comes from clarity. But to build clarity, you need to have some consistency.
Mm-hmm.
I think consistency is huge. I mean, we were just talking about it. If you're doing something different every single day, in terms of like you don't have a good routine.
Right.
You're gonna lose out on some clarity there because you really don't know what's going on in your life, right? Once you create a routine, you know what you're gonna do here, you know what you're gonna do there. You know during this time of the day, I'm gonna be doing this, I'm gonna be working. So when you have a routine, it really gives you clarity. And I think that just comes from consistency of doing stuff. What are your opinions on what kind of give you clarity?
Well, I think, first of all, that's a really good point because white space on a calendar is like the devil. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but like they say white space on your calendar is like the devil. Reason being is for me, when I write, it's another thing I like to do. If it works for you, use it. If not, whatever. But before I go to bed every night, another part of my, like, I guess, before I sleep routine is I always lay out my clothes for the next day. So my work clothes, my gym clothes, and if it's a weekend, maybe like my outing clothes. And then I write out my day. And usually, the more shit I have to get done the next day means I have less time to fuck off. Like, you know, if it's like, you know, get up at this time, you know, get the car cleaned, go to this close, knock for this many doors, talk to this person, return this email, follow up with this in school, and I just have a list of shit I have to get done. For one, as cheesy as it is, this right here, going like this, is like a fucking, me busting a nut. Every time I cross them off the list, I'm like, fuck yeah, I just did that. Fuck. And then at the end of the day, I usually have about 80 to 90%. And to be honest, it's fucking hard for me to get everything I need to get done. But Jordan Peterson kind of says as well, he's like, hey, if you get 70% of your shit done for the day, that's way more than 0 or 10. And so, you know, setting a high amount of activities that have to be executed for that day or that week usually builds confidence.
List.
Yeah, a task list is huge for me.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
So like, yeah, task list, to-do list.
But the other thing I was going to say is also reading. Anything that I know that is like separating myself, because success leaves clues, right? And what a lot of successful people talk about, I would say some of the biggest 3 or 4 main things that they all have in common is, one is a sleep schedule, what time you wake up, what time you go to bed every night. And that's fucking hard to do. It's harder than people think. People probably actually know, but it's hard for me to go to bed at my time's usually midnight, and I go to bed and wake up at 8. It's fucking hard to stay on that routine.
Yeah, it really is.
The second thing is reading every day. It's super hard to do that too. The third thing I would say is physical exercise, another hard thing to do every day. And then the fourth, I guess, is just removing vices if possible. But yeah, I don't know. I think that ultimately being able to find clarity is linked with doing things that suck, and also things that just separate yourself from the crowd. Because one thing I've learned from with reading, because, you know, I love to read, is it's nuts, dude. Like, the more you read on some like fucking matrix shit where you see the coding and the writing, I'll be reading a book, dude. Like, I'll read like Think and Grow Rich, and I'm reading like Emotional Intelligence, and I'm like, holy fuck, he's talking about the same exact concept, not referencing to him at all, as this guy did in this book I read a year ago. And then I'll read another book, I'm like, dude, I see, you ever seen like those FBI, like who's the murderer? It's like, he's connected to him, it's connected to him, it's connected to him. It's like the same idea with these books. I'm like, let's say the topic is like, I don't know, how to close a deal by taking the deal away. And then I'll read 8 different books, and they all link to that same fucking idea. And I'm like, holy shit. Maybe they know, maybe they don't know, but it's crazy because success really does leave clues, dude.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Sorry, I know you're like...
No, dude, I was like, it's spot on.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's another thing too, is like, don't be afraid to try to learn from people that are being, you know, who are successful.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people, you know, they kind of envy other people with success, or they, you know, create a narrative like, oh, you know, a good one, Donald Trump, for example, right? We can all say he's successful.
Yeah.
However, you know, some people have a narrative where, you know, it's like, oh, he was just giving all of his money, blah, blah, blah. Like, he didn't, you know,
make billions of dollars.
Yeah. He's a successful guy.
Yeah.
I mean, hands down. Like, everyone,
Yeah,
you have to say that, right? And then, so from there, like,
say it.
You like Trump.
Go ahead.
Admit it. But from there, it's like you have to get rid of that narrative that you have about him,
understand objectively that he's a successful guy, and there's information to be learned from him.
Right.
I'm sure, dude, we can learn a lot from Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And as much as the same about Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I mean, I could learn like how to climb upstairs and ride a bike.
But yes, I get you.
No,
you can learn.
Everyone who's successful, they have information that you can gather from them.
Yep.
And it's just you have to be willing to learn it.
100%.
Yeah, I think
you have to put yourself out there in a mindset that's like, I'm comfortable learning from this person and this person, even if you hate that person. Like, even if someone hates Donald Trump, you can learn something about finances clearly about him. Even if you hate Joe Biden, go back maybe a couple years when he was not all dimensioned out, but you can for sure learn some stuff about Joe Biden, maybe like public speaking, whatever it is. It doesn't matter who it is. The only way that you can really elevate yourself is by being able to look at what you are favored toward or, biased towards and what you're not, because that's what you learn from both aspects. But one thing I kind of want to wrap up with, kind of on, I guess, not really politics, but speech in general, is I thought about this one time and I wrote it down. I think it's pretty good, is be aware of how you're speaking. You will either subconsciously lower or raise your level of intellect and ambition depending on who you're hanging around. So I know this one kind of comes around like, show me your friends, show me your future, but here's a great example. And there's no, like I said, once again, I love all my homies, all my friends. You guys are all great people in my life. But just for me, I am getting off the phone with, let's say, Christian, talking about or Jack or Max, talking about finances and life and success and blah, blah, blah. And then I get off, let's say I get off the phone, and then I walk into Riley's. Instantly, even my sentences go from like, I'm going to do this, and I can't wait to lead this company, and the revenue that we're creating in my finances, and then literally I'm like, dude, that shit's fucking hot, bro. Where the fucking shots out, dude? Bro, what's up, bro? That fucking bitch. Like, instantly. Now, don't get me wrong. I think there's 100% a time and a place. And if you work your ass off all week and you want to go to the bar, I'm not saying don't do that. Fucking I do that. All I'm saying is, it took me a second. I don't remember when this came up. I just wrote it in my notes, and it stuck with me. It's like, just be aware of the things you're talking around and then the environment you're in. I will literally go from like being goddamn having a brain orgasm from all the knowledge I learned in a meeting with fucking, Solar, and then I get in my car and I turn on rap music and I call my buddy, what up, fucker, how the fuck are you? And like instantly my dialect, my brain, my mindset changes because I'm in a different wavelength. My frequencies are different.
And so I remember, experiencing that firsthand when I left to move to the Bay Area and then I'd come back.
Yeah.
And like in the Bay Area, I was just working a couple
Bay
jobs.
Area.
Working a couple jobs and just focusing on school, right? And then I'd come back over here to Chico and party and hang out with my friends. And I would consciously be aware of like what I'm saying, how stupid I sound.
Yeah.
I was like, man, why the hell am I talking?
I'd be saying that a lot.
And a couple of the words that, a little bit of a tangent, but I'm trying to avoid, and it's hard.
Yeah.
Is like any kind of filler word, right? Ain't nothing. No. No.
Saying shit, let me get another shot.
Yeah. And the other one's literally.
Literally.
And absolutely.
Absolutely.
Those are hard things not to say.
I say 100%. I probably said it 10 times this podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. But trying to remove vocabulary is hard. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
But at the same time though, like getting into what you're talking about, being aware of the your surroundings and the situations you kind of put yourself in, and how that changes yourself. And it's as simple as looking at how the way you talk. But and it can compound too. If you keep putting yourself in that situation where you're going out constantly, next thing you know, you wasted a whole year of your life. And like, wow, I didn't do anything last year. I didn't do anything productive. And it's just because of the situation or your surroundings that you're in and the environment. So
I think self-talk is huge because like you think something, right? But then you say it out loud, it creates, you make it real, right? Like, good example is, let's say we're on the doors and like, we haven't gotten appointments set all day and I'm just saying out loud, like, dude, fuck, today sucks. I'm like, right? You're reminding yourself because now you physically are hearing it from your own mouth. Like, you might be thinking something, but if you don't act on it, it's easier, right?
What's that like Confucius quote?
The man, he who thinks he can and he who thinks he cannot are both usually right.
There you go.
I'm a quote.
And if you no, that's the truth. Hey, what did this guy say?
Socrates.
No,
600 BC.
Yeah, no, but I think that one's a huge one.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the doors fucking suck today, or today fucking sucks. You say it,
Serious
bro,
torch.
the rest of your day will suck.
Yeah.
If you say, dude, today was awesome, like today's going well, dude, the rest of your day is gonna go well.
Yeah. Or another thing is too, because sometimes, don't get me wrong, I'm also in that boat of like, there's times for being positive, there's times where like, dude, like if I haven't got an appointment all day, I'm not gonna be like, God, I love today. But right.
Yeah.
But there's a way to talk about it where you can remind yourself. Like I always say, like when it's a tough day, I'll say like, today's a character building day, and I know I'm getting better from it. Now I'm not gonna say I love today, but there's a way where you can at least rewire it so your brain realizes like, oh, today is a character building day. I am getting better from this. Therefore, I am in the struggle.
Well, I agree with that. You can also focus, or you can choose to focus on the negatives, or you can choose to focus on the positives.
Right.
If you're sitting over here, like let's say you're just sitting at home all day, looking at the news, you can focus on all the bad things in the news, or you can focus on all the good things.
Yeah.
And it's completely up to you. And it's whatever you're going towards. And if you're looking at the news all day and you're saying, you know, shootings, fires, terrible stuff happening in Ukraine, Russia, you can think, wow, the world's gonna end. Yeah. But then on the other side of the aisle, you can look at, wow, all the cool stuff happening with, you know, SpaceX and it's like
true,
right? And it's like hopeful stuff.
Going
like,
to test,
these things are changing.
Humanity on a different planet.
Yeah, everything's like all this like progress and technology is changing, and we're learning so much. And this person said that, and wow, my team's doing really well. You can focus on all the good, and the rest of your day will be good.
Yeah.
And it happens just when you're at work, right? You can focus on your boss being a fucking dick. Yeah. And it's like, God damn, I hate this job. Like, I hate it, right? Or you can focus on like all your coworkers are cool. Mm-hmm. You can have a good day. Yeah. It just comes down to whatever you
control. At the end of the day, you really do control your reality. And I'm always like talking about manifest reality. But at the end of the day, dude, it really does come down to like, this is your life. Like, you can wake up every day and fucking hate it. You can wake up every day and slack. You can wake up every day and get after it. And whatever get after it is for you, like I said, it doesn't have to be finance or fitness. It can be best writer, painting, artist, whatever. But bottom line is, I think that so many fucking people, like their life goal is not their life goal. Their life goal is what they've been told by everyone else. Go to a job, or get a job, go to work, get a family, buy a house. I want to do all those things, right? I'm doing some of those now. But what my life goal is so much more purpose in that. And I think a lot of people get so bogged down in the day-to-day because they were told, if you get X, Y, and Z, you'll be happy. And because it's not what they want, it's what society's told them. When they get X, Y, and Z, they're like, this is it. I'm miserable as fuck. I got the $100,000.
They didn't know what they wanted.
Exactly. And that's the hardest thing, dude, is like quitting something. You know, sometimes it takes pay cut, dude. There's billionaires that are depressed and like all they want to do is, let's say,
billionaires have like a higher suicide rate than homeless people. Or it's some kind of crazy stat.
Isn't that crazy though? Like even if that's remotely true, like think about that. It's because money can't buy happiness. What money can do is it can fill a lot of voids and take care of a lot of financial problems when most of the world has those. But at the end of the day, it's like, billionaires killing themselves. Let's give an example. Let's say a billionaire committed. Here's an actual good one. This literally happened. I remember he didn't kill himself, but there's a billionaire. I don't know if you saw this. He fucking died trying to get a penis enlargement. He was a billionaire, mega billionaire, and he fucking died on the operating table for getting a penis enlargement. And I'm like, bro, think about it. All the money. Yeah, great investment. I would be right there with it. All the money in the fucking world, and this guy still was happy about his dick. Like, dude, now don't get me wrong, I know people are like, well, you can do whatever you want, that's fine, but it's like, dude, you have so much money and you're still insecure. Clearly, you're insecure about your own fucking body. Like, if that isn't the definition of a fucking, and he died from it because he wanted to get his dick bigger.
Let's be honest, how small do you think it was?
Quarter, half-inch tops. But I know it's such a like gruesome like way to kind of connect it all, but the bottom line is like, dude, think about all the money in the world, the guy still was insecure about himself. It's like, dude, fucking, clearly, he was missing out on a deeper part of life that has more meaning than just money. And so
he just never found it. So what is your big takeaways?
Christian DeLuca.
Max.
Big takeaway, I would say, honestly, from today. These are actually good to start doing this. I don't know. I just think that obviously having you on the show is fire because you and me are really similar in a lot of aspects, but we're different in a lot of ways too, which is good because you need friends that are like that.
Like I'm straight, he's gay. It's cool.
Teach their own, right? Teach their own. No, but for real, it's good though. So I don't know. I would just say that ultimately, it's like, for one, I would say that like consistency, constant repetition carries conviction. I know I've said that a bunch, but being consistent will breed success. The second thing I would say is like, just because you're elevating doesn't mean you have to cut your friends out of your life, but I would say be very aware of who's your friend and who's someone that just wants to hold you down because you're successful. Because I have a lot of friends that I don't hang around them anymore, but I still love them to death and they respect me for what I'm doing. But I'm just done with that lifestyle for the most part, you know what I'm saying? And I have other people that are literally jealous and envious of me. I'm like, God, go fuck yourself. And then the final thing I would say is continue to surround yourself with people that are like-minded, because you can really grow and find shit out about yourself just talking to someone else, you know? Sometimes it's like, I might have all these thoughts in my head and you have those thoughts in your head, but like actually collaborating and speaking about it, you might have a light bulb, like, oh fuck, Nick said something that resonates in me, or oh fuck, Jack said a good point. So surround yourself with people that want what's best for you, but they're also doing what's best as well. What about you?
I think everything you said is great.
You gotta come up with your ideas, huh?
Okay, yeah. Well, you took all my ideas. No, okay. Being conscious of your environment.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Finding.
I was gonna say it all the time.
Literally, absolutely. So being conscious of your environment, you know, whether that be the friends that you surround yourself with, the people that you're closest to, or actually what you're doing that's surrounded by you. So be conscious of that. The other is finding clarity, however that may come, finding your why. And then, just being able to have some introspective thoughts about yourself. Being able to look at yourself objectively is a hard thing to do, and I think that's pretty huge.
Fire. One last thing I'll wrap up with, because this is going for an hour. One last thing I want to wrap up, because I think this is huge too in today's world, is like eye contact. Like, I don't know how many people in today's world that don't know how to make eye contact. Jake Tonkin has entered the building, ladies and gentlemen, as we're wrapping up the podcast, and he's on the live. But eye contact, I think, is fucking huge, and like not enough people know how to like make eye contact and like body language, because eye contact, dude, says a lot about a person. It talks about like how confident they are. You know, nonverbals are huge. So we're wrapping up with that. Jake just got a fucking slice of hot and ready pizza. Let's go. Once again, thanks for coming on, brother. This was a huge episode. We're back. We've been gone for quite some time, but we got, I think, 3 or 4 podcasts lined up this week alone. Appreciate all your guys' support and love and hate and despise and I'm just kidding. Anyway, thanks again, guys. Love you all for the support. Laugh